What's up, everybody? It's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome to PXA Peeks at the final release version of The Tribe. So when I started PXA Peeks, I said that when I covered early access games, I was going to do additional videos on them at certain milestones in development or when they came out. Well, it turns out that not too long after I did my last video on The Tribe, it actually came out. It came out on the 26th of August, 2016, so I'm a little bit late on this one. But we now have the final release version here, so I would recommend that you go back and look at that old video to see my initial criticisms with the game. There should be an annotation you can click on there that will take you to that. I'm not going to rehash those things for the most part here. I'm just going to show you how it's improved in this version. So it's still $5 on Steam. They've added more translations here, which is rather amusing, and we'll get to why. They seem to have upgraded to a different version of Unity as well, because it shows a different logo when you start it up. However, they've added a really annoying bug, which is that no matter what monitor you tell this game to start on, it always starts on, well, in my case, the left one. So I have to turn it back to a window, move it to the right screen, and turn it back to full screen. That's pretty friggin' annoying. Also, there are resolution and graphics presets option in the pre-game launcher. There are no options in the game aside from the ability to turn the sound completely on and off. You cannot adjust the music or the sound effects independently. Now, one of the chief complaints I had with the original version of this game was that it was full of very badly translated English, and that there were a number of elements in the game, basically scenarios that they implemented in between certain missions where you had sort of long narrative text-based things and you had to make static choices based on that could impact the tribe. It was a lot like some of the text events they added to a game like Space Rangers, if you've ever played that. Something like that, which I thought was a cool idea, but the problem was the text events were all but impossible because the English was so bad you had no idea what you were going to be agreeing to. So, how did they fix that? They took out the text events. There is a lot less English in this game now. What is still here is still very badly translated and barely understandable, but it doesn't really impact things nearly as much as it used to. Now, some people are probably going to be annoyed that they took out what looked to be a very unique selling point of the game, and I can appreciate that. But at the same time, I also respect the fact that the developers said, you know what, we don't know if we can make this work, so I guess they couldn't, so they just decided to remove it. And they were actually very candid about that in the Steam forums. They were just saying, look, we don't know if this is a really good mechanic. It wasn't just the English problem, it was just the fact that they didn't know if it worked because it caused a lot of downtime between levels. So they decided, I guess, that it wasn't worth it. And you know what, that's cool. That's a creative choice I can respect. There were also environments that were missing, and there was placeholder text up here that wasn't complete. That has all been changed now. There are different environments in here, and it will give you a little description of each one. The problem is you get a randomly generated path every time you start the game, and sometimes it does this. So, like, I finished that last level with 0 food. The only 2 environments I can go into right now are both desert environments, both of which have less food. So, great. Yeah, I'm not so big on that. I do wish that they would mix things up a little bit and maybe not put 2 of the same between areas, because you can kind of get boned. But this is a game that relies very heavily on RNG, so I guess that's to be expected. And what they've also done as well is there was a mechanic in the original version of the game, or the early access version, where you could either have your tribe run through the night, which made it harder to see, or you could spend a bunch of food and skip the night. They've done that here as well, but they've consolidated it into this little menu instead of a separate text event, so it just makes things a little more efficient and quicker. That's kind of cool. Don't have enough food, so we're running into the night. Okie dokie. The tutorial in this is basically the same one that was in the early access version, which is a bummer because it really doesn't explain a lot of things. Like, for example, the fact that when you come across other tribes like that, you can either take out your spears and cannibalize them for food, or you can run into them, and if you have enough guys, you can just sort of adopt them into your tribe. It also doesn't explain that thing, for example, which is like this big dinosaur thing that will sort of sweep in and can hurt your guys. It also doesn't explain the requirements that are necessary to take out certain creatures, so like those tigers and the... So there's other creatures in this desert environment, as you can see there. That's like an anteater or something. I don't know, but I think it has the same requirements as the moose do. But it doesn't explain things like those tigers or the big, what am I looking for here? I was about to say monolith, not monolith. The big sort of almost elephant-looking creatures that come across, basically. Oh yeah, those things are really nasty too. It doesn't explain what the requirements are for those, so you better be prepared to do a lot of trial and error in order to take those out. So you're gonna, and that's stuff you all have to learn on your own. There are also little, I forget what they're called. They're like little medallions. They're basically one-time use power-ups that you can get. I had a bunch of them when I first started playing the final version of this game. I haven't earned any more. They basically just give you little perks and buffs that you can use. I don't know how you earn more of them because I haven't yet, so I kind of don't know how that works. There's no, like, microtransactions or anything in this game, so I don't know how that works, but they are very helpful. So here we go, rainy, highly populated land, more food, but there's poisonous bushes and flies, or a cold land with fewer animals, but you can find altars of ancestors. Altars of ancestors, as I understand it, at least from the one that I've come across before, every time I've come across one, it basically gives you a free respawn. So if you fail out a level, you can choose to spend that and restart the level that you were on, or you can bail out. I believe that's what they are. So we really need food, and we have almost no people, so we're going to go this way. So, what do I think of the changes they've made in the final release version? Well, I'm mixed. I think taking out the text events was probably a good idea. I don't know why it was so hard for them to find someone who could just help them translate, but I'm not sure why I lost a guy there. I lost a guy there, too. That's weird. The bushes are supposed to help you. Oh, it's because there was dead guys around them. I guess they were... Okay, so use 1 token of knowledge. So I guess this isn't the thing you get from the ancestors. Yeah, I have a token of knowledge. See, that token wasn't in my inventory, though, so I'm not sure. You know what? Let's just start over. We're not going to get anywhere there. So you see here, the group can't make it. They died with the shaman, but the tribe can't exist without the shaman, so the new shaman leads new people, and it will be so again and again while we scout our path to the big safe mountain. That's much better English than was in the early access version, but it's still not ideal. I said back then that I wasn't sure if the problem was that they were trying to phrase it as if it was cavemen speaking or if it was just poor translation. I'm still not sure which it is, to be honest with you. But again, it doesn't make a huge difference. So yeah, I think taking out the text events was probably a smart idea. I got what they were going for there, and I think it's kind of cool. But it did detract from the pacing of the game, and with the English as poor as it was, they were basically a hindrance anyway. You still do have this problem on occasion where you will start the game, and because there's no food anywhere, you will... sometimes the RNG will ensure that there's no food anywhere, so you'll lose a whole bunch of guys before you even have an opportunity to get any food, which makes no bloody sense to me. That seems like I get that there's a lot of RNG in this game, but that just seems petty and unfair. It doesn't always happen, but it's still, I don't know, that's not really my scene. So, these guys are, yeah, those guys are going to get killed because there was not enough guys, so they just attacked us rather than join us. Basically, they will try to kill you if you don't have enough guys to either recruit them or destroy them yourself for cannibalism. So let's go check out the cold land. We have 36 food. Yeah, let's just run in the morning so I can show you guys what the area looks like. Yeah, so they did that. There's still some gameplay mechanic problems, like I said, with that early balance. There's the text events were a good idea to take out, but it does strip out a feature of the game that was there. So this is an altar of the ancestors. Again, like you go by it and it just activates. I'm still not 100% sure what it actually does, because again, never explained. I assume that their goal was for you to learn that yourself, but I would rather just have it explained rather than have to do who knows how many runs and lose the opportunity to figure out what this means. See, I got another one there. I think maybe it just levels up your shaman, because your shaman does level up the longer he stays alive. Again, I don't know what the benefit is of that. I have no idea. My shaman is he just turned level 18 right now. I don't know what benefit I get from that. Maybe it's more tokens, because you can see here I've actually got a bunch of those tokens on the map now. I can't spread these guys out enough to pick up that food, so that's kind of a bummer. We'll see if we can actually get to the end here. Okay, we did. The levels also kind of end arbitrarily like that. Yeah, you see, I still don't have anything I can use here, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But, we might as well go this way, I guess. We got lots of food, so let's run into the day again. So, do I think it's worth $5 now? Yeah, it could be. There's still some balance problems, and what English is in it is not very good, but it's still a fun idea. You know, it's an interesting take on the runner genre, which has otherwise become incredibly tired. You know, the runner genre is very saturated, and most of the games are very, very samey. This one tried to do something different, and it gives you some mild strategic elements and character building, and really, you could almost call it light RPG stuff to manage at the same time. And a lot of it you have to manage on the fly as you go. So you see, like, having to switch between, you know, your hands, your spears, activating your, you know, taking guys in and out of your tribe to provide food if necessary, you know, choosing whether or not to engage in cannibalism, which admittedly has no real harm. Like, engaging in cannibalism does no long-term harm. It might have been interesting to see a mechanic involving that. You know, cannibalism is bad in the sense that obviously it can result in a decrease in population, but that's kind of it. It would be kind of an interesting mechanic to see if over time, you know, some of the guys could be, I don't know, experience some kind of personality change or become more feral or possibly something like that as a result of having to engage in cannibalism. I think that would be an interesting idea that they never really explore, but it's a cool take on the runner genre. It is. I like what they added here. And, you know, I was kind of down on this art style when I first started playing the early access version of this. Oh, God, this isn't going to go well for me at all. And you see, you have a thing like that where when your shaman comes down to him being by himself, there's no way to, like, I couldn't get him to cross a bridge because you can only spread out your tribe in these sort of set patterns, and you can't utilize all the patterns unless your tribe is a specific size. So in some cases, I don't have the means to actually place it so that he could get across the bridge, which is kind of frustrating. You know, little things like that are still annoying, but there are also things that you can learn and figure out as you play the game more, and it feels in many ways like that's what they were going for. I think the fact that the tutorial in this game is kind of weak, I think was to a degree by design. And some people would say, well, not teaching you how to play the game is bad design on spec. And yeah, I can understand that, but sometimes when that's done deliberately, it can be done in interesting ways, and it kind of feels like that's what they were going for here. I'm not sure if that's true, but if so, it's an interesting thought. Alright, we got lots of food here. Problem is we can't recruit anybody because we can't... I see, I don't know if it's maybe if I send the shaman into that... No, I couldn't line him up. I was thinking maybe if I sent the shaman into that group of campfire, you know, he could spread the word, and that's how I would get more people, because otherwise I don't know how I'm going to get more people at this point. But we're funny enough, this is one of the furthest things I've gotten. So your goal is to get to this mountain area here, which is basically the end of the game. We'll see if we can do it. But, and it's designed to be done in different runs. This game does have leaderboards as well. The leaderboard implementation is pretty weak sauce. Okay, so see that bush has dead guys around it, which means that will kill me, so I don't want to do that. Yeah, see, I can't line my shaman up to go across that campfire. So the idea is that you will do this in multiple runs. You're trying to get better score, better shaman level, etc. The leaderboards are very, very weak. It will show you your position on the boards, and it will show a couple of top statistics, but you can't scroll through the leaderboards to see anything but those top scores. Crap. Okay, I died, so I'll show you what those look like here. Nah, let's just bail out on this. So yeah, here's the leaderboard implementation. It shows the single run leaders, the big pass leaders, and which I'm not sure what big pass is. I think you might have to complete the game to get that. And it shows your best results. That's it. You can't scroll this leaderboard. All you can see is the top 7. You can't compare to friends. You can't do anything like that. Pretty weak sauce implementation. This game has Steam achievements, so it has Steamworks integrated, so I'm not sure why they couldn't have used the Steamworks API in order to make that a little bit better. So, yeah. I honestly do think this is worth $5. You've got to like runner games, and you've got to want something that does runners differently, of course. And you've got to be willing to accept the frustrations that this game most certainly does have in it. The fact that it doesn't explain things well, the fact that some of the mechanics, especially when it comes to moving the tribe and things like that, can feel very, very cheap at times. And the fact that there's, like I said, it's got a lot of bad English in it. And if you really wanted those text events, then you're not going to get them because they decided to take them out. I think the game is better for it, but if you were someone who thought that was a cool concept, totally understandable, but it looks like you're not going to get it here. So just be, you know, make yourself aware of that. Oh, we got food for days there. See, again, there's another one of those cat things. I don't even know if you can kill those, or these for that matter. Never explained. And I just don't want to have to play this so many times over in order to figure out how to get that. That just doesn't seem that fun to me. So, and yeah, it might have been nice to see some mechanics fleshed out a little bit more, like, you know, if cannibalism had longer-term impact, things like that would be kind of neat. But, so we're running into the night here, so we got to turn the fire on. So, of course, if you're using fire, you have to be careful about that as well, because the fire will burn fruit bushes. It will take out flies, though, and it will scare a lot of creatures off, so you got to be careful about that. Oh, well, okay, sorry, guys. Kind of wrecked that one. So, yeah, I think this is worth $5, to be honest with you. There's cool mechanical ideas in here, and they definitely polished it up. They've taken out the elements that made it feel really rough. It's still got some technical issues, and I would really like to see some more options in this. But it's a cool idea, and there's really nothing like it, especially if you're into genres. So yeah, this is $5 on Steam, and if it looks appealing to you, I would give it a shot. If it was worth any more than that, I'd say I think that's asking a little bit too much. But I think they priced this appropriately. So yeah, that is the final version of The Tribe, developed and published by Tribe Team in 2016 for the PC. It's on Steam right now for $5, and I think it's cool for what it is, but know what you're getting into with it for sure. My name is Parallax Abstraction. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and telling other people about it. That would help me out a great deal. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.